Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Drill instructors, where do you all get the hilarious and most outrageous insults when screaming out recruits? Is it passed down and or overheard then used later? Some of it comes naturally, some of it is recycled, sometimes you get surprised by your own words. My favorite, and one that actually broke me, it wasn't directed at me but somebody in formation next to me. Die, did you iron your shirt? Recruit, sir, yes sir. Die, was it plugged in? I laughed out loud. The push-ups were worth it. That shit was funny. One time, our drill sergeant pulled one of the guys out of formation who kept being out of step, got right up in his face and said, "Smith, you got about as much coordination as a gnat's got balls." Everyone was fighting laughing including the sergeant, and we took about 2 steps off before he put us at ease and we all just lost it. Good times. My Air Force friend once told me that his drill instructors weren't allowed to curse, but that made it even worse because they would say weird substitutions that made it hard not to laugh. USAF vet here, in 2004 they barely cursed at us. I found it super weird. A grown-ass man would run around calling us dummy and nut. It actually hurt more than a curse, in a way, like I'd walk around thinking, "Oh man, I'm a dummy." I also liked stupids, Fargan ice holes, exclamation mark. My favorite from my boot days was getting a line inspection and my TI rifles through this kid's clothes and screams, "It looks like someone with no arms folded these clothes." It made us all laugh, but then we all got in trouble for laughing. The best I ever heard was my TI messing with a random trainee who walled by as we were waiting to get our warrior flight ribbon. "Quit looking at me with your googly eyes. Now I'm gonna have nightmares about midgets, clowns and your googly eyes." My flight and brother flight suddenly had a few people start coughing after that. Obviously our TI wasn't an idiot, so everyone was just told to settle down. Some of those instructors just have perfect delivery. We had a kid who couldn't unzip his parka, so he tried to put it on like shirt, and struggled. Next thing we hear, "What's a damn SNUFFLEUPAGUS doing in my bay?" Everyone choked. The TI quickly turned into his office, "It's not fucking funny," as he was fighting for his life. The whole dorm lost it. Back in my academy days we had something similar. During an inspection the officer comes out and looks directly at my roommate and yells, "Cadet, your bed looks like 2 old people fucked in it. Did you let 2 old people fuck in your bed?" I lost it. Getting smoked was worth it. We had a guy in our division stutter and say, "Belay my ass," instead of "last," and one guy got sent back 2 weeks because of how hard he laughed. Laughed at a drill exactly once. During Hagee inspection a guy had his balls hanging out. I couldn't stop laughing and when he got to me I broke. This was around week 9 or 10. He fucked with me for the rest of the time I was there. I'm always grateful I at least waited until towards the end before, in a moment of frustration, I told our platoon guide to suck my dick. I was on the menu after that. For anyone that doesn't know, platoon guide is the unlucky private who's a little older, in really good shape, well-spoken, and or something else that causes the drills to appoint him leader. He is the drill sergeant's right-hand man and they take it pretty fucking personally if you disparage him. My former office mate was an ex-drill instructor in the army. He said drill instructor training was 50% physical conditioning and 50% learning how to fuck with people. I spoke to a former drill instructor once who said they'd yell at a tree to practice rattling off a string of demands and insults without regard to their victim's reaction. And when the tree drops and gives them 20, they graduate from DI, RDC, TI, DS school. My favorite. "You are so effing useless that if you fell into a bucket of tits you would surface sucking your own thumb." From My Color, Sandhurst circa 1989. Same energy as, "It could be raining pussy, and you'd somehow get hit with a dick." Quote, "My sergeant major screamed at me, inches from my face, spittle splashing me, 'You fucking useless little cunt. I'm going to bend you over backwards and stick your prick up your ass and carry you around like a fucking suitcase." Quote, "TBH, that sounds a bit specific, like he's been thinking about it too much." Die, where'd you park it? Recruit, sir. Die, where'd you park it? Recruit, sir. The recruit doesn't understand the drill instructor's question. Die, your fucking spaceship. You aren't from this planet, so where'd you park it? Whole platoon loses it. Had some drills that really dug into this one guy, Farker. He was clearly extremely autistic, but had absolute monkey strength even though he looked like a lump. He could literally knock out 100 push-ups, recover a bit, and then do some more. Once called upon to state his name, no name tags issued yet, he simply responded in a really strange voice, "I am Farker." The drill lost it and called him an alien and a Russian spy. Later on I would witness him pick up a grimy handful of grapes at the meal line and hold them about 2.5 inches from his face for an apparent examination, then place them back into the bowl for somebody else to look at. Fun fact, a few years later a buddy sent me a news article detailing Farker's arrest for planning to attack local synagogues. Dude was apparently a total anti-Semite. Even though he couldn't figure out the grapes, he knew he hated the Jews. Couldn't understand the grapes, hated the juice. Man, I'm cracking up at, I am Farker, like some kind of mythological being. You're about as squared away as a marble. Never served, but my brother told me his drill instructor used that line and I thought it was hilarious. Reminds me of our RDC in Navy boot camp repeatedly calling this one guy a soup sandwich. And here's recruit name, whose uniform looks as good as a fucking soup sandwich. Quote, when I was at Great Lakes I got made the mailroom guy. So every day I had to go knock on the officer of the deck door and ask for the key. One day our brother division RDC was hanging out in there, and he was at least 6 feet 8 inches. Knocks 3 times, takes a step into the office. Good morning, Seaman recruit terrible Pokemon respectfully requesting the mailroom key as part of my duties as ship staff. Tall guy jumps up into my face and screams, shit staff, what the hell is shit staff? I am respectfully request. Why did you stutter? Where did your words go recruit? They ran away petty officer. Why did they run away? They were scared. Why were your words scared? You're a big man petty officer. What the fuck do you want from me recruit? Respectfully requesting the mailroom key. Oh, I don't have that. And he walks away. He was about to break out laughing. I was desperately trying not to break, and all the duty officers in the office and the quarterdeck were howling laughing. I look at the officer of the deck at his deck with a, please, don't make me do that again, look, and he just throws me the keys and tells me to get the fuck out of the office while laughing. Navy OCS, I was in the final phase so I got to help the DIS do inspections of newer classes. One candidate had put his belt on backwards, which is how women wore those belts. DIS catch it, begin to question his gender identity, and one tells his to sing, I'm Just a Girl, by Pink. The candidate sang the entire song, in tune, totally nailed it. All 3 DIS stood in stunned silence and the candidate passed the inspection. One could say the candidate left no doubt. We were coming back from a weekend leave and a couple of guys were bragging about the girls they saw at a strip club. The drill sergeant overheard them and said, privates, the only ass you ever get is when your fingers poke through the toilet paper. Y'all got to leave boot camp on the weekend. WTF. It was 8, featuring Sil. This was over 20 years ago. I can't remember exactly. It might have only been an 8 hours pass. The military is highly structured and departmentalized with manuals for every need. Each instructor is provided with the manual, Mental Domination of Recruits Through Invective and Sarcasm, MDRTIS, revision 17.0.5. The manual, along with 40 hours of training, 10 self-study and 30 group practice sessions, establishes the foundation for tearing a recruit down mentally and incrementally installing a self-image more aligned with selflessly following orders and seeking a positive response from superiors. Much like the Webster's Dictionary, every year the publishers of the MDRTIS meet and evaluate new terms to incorporate it into the manual as well as retiring terms that have lost any serviceability. A few years ago, lying dog-faced pony soldier was removed, thus ending all references to horse-mounted cavalry units, which makes sense in a modern mechanized military. It was replaced with references to tanks and armored personnel carriers that were workshopped in breakout group settings. Less than 6% of submissions make the manual. Field testing and feedback loops ensure that all that does is the best the US military can offer. You actually had me for a while there. Got me too. Not because I believed it but because I thought it was going to end, in 1998 when The Undertaker threw mankind off hell in a cell and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table. Quote, Till has me. The S refers to the US being able to put out the best it can offer, obviously. You joke, but there is a binder set that is essentially a pick-your-own-adventure style guide for do this. Recruits reacted like this. Flip to page XX and read para 2, AG, expect, all for how to psychologically grind and mold the group toward the desired outcome. Edit, word, psychological to psychologically. I have no idea the exacts, I just know the playbooks are designed to emulate the stresses and tension buildups expected in service rotations, with a few climatic events meant to trauma bond the platoon and break any people before they get to a place where breaking means lives lost. It's passed down. My favorite being, what is wrong with you? Don't bother answering, it's obvious. Your father jerked off on a rock and the sun baked you. Single quote. I had one tell my platoon mate that he was a waste of biology, should just have been a blowjob. Heard that one before, except it wasn't a drill instructor. It was a high school math teacher directed at a student. Yes, he was immediately fired. Trainee, why is the back of your head so flat? Did your mother not give you enough tummy time? I heard one once when a recruit, in the British Army, referred to a superior as Sarge. He said, there's only 2 types of Sarge in the Army, a massage and a sorsarge, and if you massage the sorsarge, hang on, are you calling me a wanker? https://youtube.be/ry_gg6maz6i?C=ZG15 Is this what you speak of? That's it. Haven't seen it in years. Hilarious. My favorite was when one of my brothers was in the middle of shaving when we had to fall in line. When the MTI saw him, she yelled, "Holy half, stash." Quote. I wasn't a DS, but after one of my soldiers said something really dumb, I made he walk over to some plants and apologize for wasting the oxygen they worked so hard to produce. That's a classic one. Friend of mine was ordered to carry a potted plant for a whole week to substitute the oxygen he wasted talking.